Hi everybody, I thought I would show you what I've been making, and some of you seen what what I was talking about, those 3 fat quarters. I turned that, yes, I had that quilt completed. It was pretty, it just lacked something, and so what I did, and I got 2 of these wrong, but I'm not fixing it, I'm not changing it, I'm not doing it. Anyway, I just realized that. I got 2. But that's okay, I'm not taking it apart to fix it. I'm not. This is what is called a puff quilt. And normally, normally this would have went right straight down, and the colors, and that's okay. I'm not taking this thing apart. It's too many puffs to do it. These are done with they start out on the top part, they start out with 5-inch squares, and then on the back you put 4.5 inch to make these little puffs. I've made many puff quilts, many of them. This is a little tiny one, and this one is not actually going to be a quilt. What I'm going to do with this, and that's the reason I didn't back it at this point, because I'm going to put fleece on the back and it won't be used as a quilt. What I'm going to do with it is then you take and fold this like this until you meet up, and I shouldn't even have put the other border on, or the outside piece on there. You fold it like this and you sew it together, and it becomes a pillow. It works. It's so comfy, and so that's the reason I did it this way. I'm going to sew it together. It'll be sewn together here, where those 2 pieces come together, and this will be on the underneath side of the pillow, to where the outside looks like this. And it just, and because they're full of polyfill, and you could do these little puffs. I mean, you could make these puffs into anything. It does take a whole lot to make one for a big, huge actual quilt for a bed. They are quite heavy. I mean, this one isn't very big, and it is heavy. And then by the time you add the, you can still add batting to them, and your backside, they become quite heavy. And I may not turn it into a pillow. I may just go ahead and back it, but who knows. But I thought I would show you. These are quite fun to make. Just the inside of this was 3 fat quarter bundles. So that tells you these are 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 8, 16, I don't know. This thing is 8 squares down and 8 over. You can actually increase these. Most puff quilts you see do not have a puff border like this. They're bound. I just thought I wanted it to have an actual border. I think it looks cool. My little 4-legged kids there, they keep trying to get a hold of it. It's like, you're not getting it. I didn't make it for you. And of course, no, I haven't gotten rid of all the little hairs or little strings. But these are really fun to make. There's different ways you could do these. These are done by sewing them all together and then sewing them. There's different ways you could do this. I will do a tutorial on making a really small one that's not done this way, that actually is the back. You don't have these individual pillows. I just wanted them individual pillows. And you can stuff them however fluffy you want them. I will tell you, they're not hard to do. The most time-consuming part is getting these. As you can see, they're sewed. I do not stuff both sides. I stuff this side, or I stuff one side, sew it together, and then when I sew it, this next row that goes on it is not puffy. But because they're puffy, the machines, my sewing machine or any sewing machine, even a sewing machine with a walking foot, has a little bit hard time keeping it straight, because you don't want to go too far in. I mean, I didn't do too bad of a job, but it is it's interesting trying to keep it straight. That's why I'll do a demo on the other way, which is a lot easier, because you're not messing with having to make these puffy things, little puffs or whatever they're called. You're not having to mess with it. I can't find that string. I can see it in the camera, but I can't find where it's at. It goes down here somewhere. You're not having to mess with trying to sew puffies together. And that is, you sew your blocks together first, and then you put your batting and your backing, you turn it inside out, and that's when you make your puffs. So it's interesting how it's done. I'll do a quick demo on making a little tiny one. I don't know what the purpose will be. I'll give it to my cat for cat bed. But you can make them, or you could do them, you know, you don't have to do them singly. If you wanted them to be like big, you make 4 of these, be one big puff. And I've done it that way. So you're talking sewing whatever size, and mine just happened to be, the top is 5-inch squares. You could even do them as rectangles. There's no particular rhyme or reason for them. It's just what you wanted. My intention was to do this, but it kind of, I guess I wasn't paying much attention, and it is what it is. Like I said again, I'm not taking it apart. I refuse. This is one time I will not take something apart like that. But this is what I did with 3 fat quarter bundles, or not bundles, 3 fat quarters itself. These are a lot of fun to make, and it is what I call super beginner friendly. I did these years and years ago because these are, in my opinion, that may not be everybody's opinion. These strings are bothering me because I can see them in the camera. It may be just my opinion. This puffy thing has both hand stitching. It's sewed together. Half of it is hand and half of it is machine sewing. I found that you can't, looking at the stitches, there's no difference. Nobody's, unless you like take it to super close. Let me see if I can. They're, just for me, that even though I don't see real well, the needle I use to do stuff like this is it's done a little bit different. I use this type of a needle, which I keep. It's one of these guys, which is, it's like a really big hook. I use one of these, and it's the same one I use for a lot of stuff because it is curved. See, it's curved. They make them bigger. And I always called these upholstery needles, but the upholstery needles are actually a lot bigger, and I have bigger ones like that. But that's what they look like. But it makes for hand sewing really, really easy, especially if, like me, I have really bad arthritis in my hands. And but I just keep it in here and have a little tiny, well, I guess I call them tomatoes, with all my hand sewing stuff. I keep them in this little container. But I did locate something that was really cool. My hubby bought it for me, and it's just a funny. It's cool, but it's, I don't know. It's kind of a. It's just a silly thing. I think it was like $1 at Walmart. Let go. And this is if you use a lot of big needles. If you use a lot of big needles that need threaded. Oh, come back here. Where'd it go? Oh, great. It's so down there. Oh, there it is. Sorry about that. Oh. Let me pause the video and see if I can find it. Okay, try that again. It just looks like this. It's got a regular piece of wire. I don't know if you could see it. Here, let me. It's just got like a regular piece of wire. See, those ones go through. It is heavier duty than the little tiny cheapy ones you buy, but these are designed to go through bigger headed needles. I just thought it was a cool thing. I don't rarely use it. I can tell you right now, this one, unless the eye of your sewing machine needle is really, really big, it won't go through there because it is heavy duty. It's pretty. Whereas most of you know the other ones, if you ever use them, they're kind of thin. Like I have these ones, and they're kind of thin. But that was just a little cool little tool. I don't know why. I probably will rarely use it, but it works. Works really great for if you do a lot of working with needles. But that's what I wanted to show you. Spending the time trying to hunt down my. Well, hope everybody's having a great day. This is, again, what my pup quilt looks like, in spite of all the strings on it. I'll get it de-stringed and get it finished up, and then I'll do a demo on making one. Like I said, they're very user friendly, or beginner friendly, and they're real I mean, it takes long to put all these little puffs together, kind of like several people are doing those little octagon. I think those would put coal as a puff pellet. I don't know. I just like puffy things. I've done quilts before where I've appliqued something on them and then made it puffy because I filled it with polyfill, and it just makes puffy things on the quilts. But that's what I've done for today, and hope everybody finds all the peace out there. Try and find some way to shut out the noise, and I will talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.